Hi, everybody. Well, we said our break would be short, and we didn't want to keep you guys waiting. So we're going straight into our round one matchup. It's going to be Lima, Shawnee, the Indians versus West Catholic Falcons. It's a big Ohio, Michigan kind of showdown. I mean, our wonderful Marty also said, you know what? It's a big showdown in, college football. So why not make it a big showdown in Rocket League as well?
A little bit of feet will be touching ball, and more so just with car, as you will have a just across the state line type of rivalry going down for real between these two squads. It's not quite the Buckeyes and the Wolverines, but it is the Indians and the Falcons. And already scoring out in blue. That's going to be West Catholic. Fine Painter first.
Yeah, great little pass, kind of upfield or clear. Better at it, and Keller is able to pick it up so well off the side wall. Doesn't seem like Shawnee was ready to kind of get the touch they needed to put it out. So just like that, an early lead in the first 30 seconds, and why don't we make that 2?
Man, Keller coming in quick as well, as Funnyface had it before. And this was a speedy kickoff. Scorpion won it past 2, and Funnyface with the amazing follow. That's one of those tough things that you have to kind of coach into it, especially if you send a 2v2 to the kickoff. But a great follow to find this 2-goal lead just outside the first half minute of play, and Bob had to come up big.
Yeah, I mean, looking from just the stat perspective, if we're going to go down the teams for Lima, Shawnee in Ohio, Shocks is around 1580, Bob is 1441, and Cobb is 1616. So they're all around GC2, GC1 range, and Shock will show exactly why he is one of those players to look out for.
Shock was one of the big players to really lead this squad to the or at least to the fall championship, and just win it by storm. I got to see it in a 3-1 fashion over Avon Lake, as I think it was a 7-2 game 4, and it was just a non-stop offensive foray for the Indians. So good looks to strike back, and I'm not really surprised here, Chicksa, that we're seeing an offensive shootout, because you got to be fast, you got to be ready, starting in a best of 3. The setup, the finisher, that one found by Cab.
Yeah, Shock starting off, though, all the way from midfield, beats out Keller, finds the second touch to get the pass in midfield, and Cab to finish it all out. Really great resurgence coming out of this Lima Shawnee team. Just like that, they're back in a tied up scoreline when we thought that maybe Shawnee, or at least West Catholic, had a good start.
Yeah, they did. I mean, this is also one of those reasons you have to start fast, not just because it is just a best of 3 round robin, but you are only going to have so many chances to really get in the face of your opponent before they decipher how you play. And, it's become a shock and awe campaign at least a couple times, as they got a goal and an assist from Shock on the side of Shawnee. But now being repelled as they have to be set to receive. And it's been a tough venture so far for West Catholic to get back upfield.
Yeah, I mentioned the stats earlier, of course, from our Lima team. This one, just off the mark. Is the finish coming through from Shock? No, not yet. But West Catholic, at least rank-wise, on the back foot of things. Funnyface 1469 GC1, Keller 1379 C3, and Scorpion 1374 C3. So more of a C3 GC1 compared to the GC1 GC2 of the other end of the field. But it shows how that little bit of rank difference doesn't necessarily mean much when both teams have been able to throw punches equally, and Shock playing patient there as a car flies past him.
Yeah, and really that rank disparity will become kind of a narrow scope, especially as much of this round robin goes on. A great trap as Shock brings it to the backboard. He doesn't have anyone to come through as of yet, but they're playing from that outside perimeter corner. And Funnyface is actually the youngest in this entire lobby, as they are the sophomore amidst a mix of juniors and seniors. So you actually have a lot of talent that can be brought through them. They're the GC1. They're the highest rank of this West Catholic group, and they're right now under fire and surviving an elongated onslaught. Chicksa, they finally get a way out.
I am thoroughly impressed at how pretty much this game has slowed down a little bit for those throws and punches to be very thought out. A great touch by Scorpion off the back wall. And Bunny Face, it doesn't need to be a pretty shot. All it needs to be is on target and it goes on in.
I'm not surprised at all that Funny Face is being the one to really act from the front for this Grand Rapids-based squad from West Catholic. So, good stuff for them to counterplay, especially for the elongated defense that they had to get beyond Lima Shawnee. That is a shutdown. Funny Face, again, I'm going to say their name a lot, and I expect to continue doing so for this youngster amongst all the senior experience from all these players. And it is West Catholic that is keeping this Lima Shawnee squad trapped back.
Shock gets those touches upfield, and they are on target, but not much can be said when there is a defender waiting there. Kind of once and done on a lot of these opportunities coming out of our Shawnee squad. This one barely off target by Scorpion. Nursing that 1-goal lead is West Catholic. Let's see if they can continue to hold on to it. Funny Face, great touch in midfield. Challenging there. The follow-up by Keller Strong with that demo. They're playing a very tactful game of keep away, and that's all they have to do to burn the remaining clock time.
Yeah, they're not really exasperating any extra boost either. You see kind of one challenge, and it goes up against multiple players. And again, at the front of it all, Funny Face, he had Scorpion on the outside flank, helping him just kind of keep this one trapped all the way back, and it became a trap game because of it. But now, maybe a sprint. They beat one defender, and no one's able to find purchase, at least at the goal line. It becomes a counter all the way back upfield. 10 seconds left. Best of 3 means this first game means a lot. Shock trying to find value from it, but both find the wall, and Funny Face finds the grass on the other side. That's going to be a huge pickup and a big win for West Catholic.
Yeah, great game 1 victory in these very short best of 3s. Let's remind you, they have round robin to start off the day in best of 3 fashion. So already on match point is West Catholic. Every game matters. Every win matters, because you only get to play really 2 games, and you need to win the majority of them.
Yeah, honestly, it was great composure to get maintained, especially by West Catholic. They get too early, and then you saw Lima Shawnee able to start really racking up extra goals. They got very fast from both Shock as well as Cab, but then it was just about a stout defense. 5 saves against the 9 shots that they brought, so that means they were just kind of plinking them off onto the side walls and then able to just defend the middle of the net. And Funny Face found opportunity to lift over that offensive, finally get a goal for his squad, and then they just held him downfield. That was an excellent way to be able to shut down the latter 2 minutes of that game.
I think West Catholic played exactly how they needed to play. They did not get discouraged with the 2 back-to-back goals, those answer goals that Shawnee kind of came in through to tie up the game. I loved the resilience. I loved what we saw out of both these teams. This isn't the level when you think of high school, you know, at least what you used to think of high school Rocket League. And they have certainly amped up on how good each and every player is. And why don't we get a passing play to start off this one?
That was a fantastic finisher, and Shock had the initial set to get this one moving downfield, but the 1-2 sticking it to the ground, and then they isolate the lone defender. That was a rare moment of defense, not exactly executing or at least being in position for a defense in-depth kind of build. So, opening play from scrimmage ends up being the one that scores, and now you know Lima Shawnee, they're trying to play catch-up. They have to force a game 3, but this is a banger downfield, and Funny Face makes for the back pass.
Oh my goodness, I thought it was going to be a redirect. I saw it happening, and if they would have hit it, man, that would have been the clippable moment of the day. But for now, West Catholic, they will need to go back to the defense, retransition, restart off the play, and hope to get upfield. Huge clear here for Keller, who's patiently waiting on that side wall. Bob, waiting for his touch, will patiently beat one, and Shock picking it up. Shock now off the side wall, goes off the back, follow-up for Cab, will still be high. The bop down in by Bob, and just like that, up by 2 now is Shawnee.
Bob Bop, especially as they had the handoff. Shock brought it to the backboard, and Cab just baited up the last defender, and it was about timing. This was something that was missing a little bit on their previous offensive foray in game number 1. They didn't have the same exact mojo, but now confidence is brewing, and Bob wasn't as heavily involved. An elongated drag across that back net. Keller would be looking for a clear.
Shock in that midfield still. Can only get a touch. But look at the midfield presence, well maintained by Shawnee. Shock now up the side wall. Looks for that flip reset. He did indeed get it, but the follow-up will quickly be taken away by Funny Face. Desperately right now, West Catholic needs a clear, and they aren't able to find one just yet. Shock gets the pass through. Huge shot by Cab, and just like that, a third for Shawnee.
The assist master in Shock. So many extra mechs, realizing that ball is falling into waters that are undefended by West Catholic. A back pass becomes a absolute slapper underneath the crossbar, and 3 in the form of the first 100 seconds. Chicksa, they are cooking.
I mean, they're more than cooking. They're just dominating. There's been nothing except for constant Lima Shawnee. Again and again and again, putting on more pressure, putting on more shooting opportunities, just making it difficult for the lives of West Catholic. They have 5 shots thus far, not a single shot registered yet for West Catholic. In fact, they've just barely got over 100 points because all they've been able to do is be on the back foot and save the ball. I don't know what West Catholic can do, but they desperately need to get something going to start off in this one.
It is non-stop the way they're looking for extra chances to really just develop from the backboard that has been mostly undefended. You have had a lot of green grass taken up by Shock as they're the main player, the instigator, the initiator for this team out of Lima Shawnee, and then both Bob as well as Cab really handling it from the perimeter level. Now this is going to be a rough one. Funny Face finally getting a chance. Oh, what a strike! Hard bouncer from Scorpion. They at least put this one a little bit closer.
Great infield pass from Funny Face. That's exactly the thing to get stuff started upfield. You need little passing plays that do the justice, that end up working out, and all it takes is one shot, one opportunity, and at West Catholic, they get themselves on the board. Now the question is, with dunks like that, embarrassment, Shock will put on another, and just when West Catholic thought they found their footing, quickly taken away.
I love the commitment by Shock, recognizing they kind of put that one slow-mo, and it was a half bait to get someone to attack it by West Catholic, and then it's about how you play off of their first touch. Just send the house. You win a 50, maybe it goes to their back line, and maybe no one's there. This is dangerous. They're gonna have one extra look, and Cab will put it in the books. 5 goals. They can only acquire 2 in game 1, and look at them go here.
You know, when I was looking, of course, at the stats beforehand, this is kind of what I expected. And then, you know what, West Catholic showed that they can do more than just what they currently are. And then, look at the answer. Oh. Look at this answer from Shawnee right now. How do they keep finding ways to score? Look at him right off kickoff. That's just nasty.
Yeah, you want to pass the first touch that should have been from West Catholic, and then the second man is surprised. Bob, the taxpayer, man, do my taxes going into next year, because apparently you're pretty darn accurate with it. Already looking for an assist chance to spread over to Cab. It's going to be Lima Shawnee for the first time in a while needing to retreat, but they're looking for a chance to go to wonderful Brazil, maybe get a tan late term here in the holidays, but it's 90 seconds to go, and there's a lot of work necessary for the Falcons to get back in this game.
That one off the mark. Funny Face trying to put it on in, but Cab last back finds the save. A miss here off the sidewall. Cab getting bumped around. Funny Face to at least put it on, but Shock well prepared. Same with the rest of the Shawnee's team. 1 minute left and a very different scoreline for game number 1. We almost find ourselves in Brazil, but that one just off the mark. Looks like, though, our first game of the day will be going to game number 3. So good thing for West Catholic. The best thing moving on forward to next game is to kind of forget this game ever existed. Remember the positives from game number 1 and work towards that, because, man, this is one game of momentum on the side of Shawnee.
It's a game right now, a series of 2 different ideals. It was West Catholic that survived the initial onslaught in game 1 and turned it into counter plays that Funny Face was able to capitalize and get those shots on 1v low numbers against Lima Shawnee. This time around, the way of a good defense is just an impeccable offense, and they have just not let up. Finally, we hit the 7-1 Brazil meme, and Shock is at the foray in front of everyone.
7-1. That's all I'm looking at. Last game was 3-2. We're talking about very different stories, but yeah, you guys were looking at the team. We mentioned Shock, we mentioned Cab, we mentioned Bob. Each of them have had incredible moments throughout this game, but certainly Shock, I mean, proving to his name, the biggest one upfield on finishing those opportunities, and Cab has been phenomenal on assisting most of them, but incredible game overall from our Lima Shawnee team. They're looking to go and win this next game out. They were not happy to lose game 1.
No, the Michael Jordan meme, and I took that personally. Crying tears to absolute domination, 13-2 shot spread in favor of Lima Shawnee, an absolute just authoritative win. And this is not something that they do accidentally either. Sometimes you see 7-1s and just kind of wild times in game 1s, but no, that was a much more defensive effort out of West Catholic from Grand Rapids. They looked very much like they could contend, and they still very much can. We will go to game number 3 here, Chicksa. It's gotta be an offense that must exist from the Falcons, because otherwise this one's just gonna keep them at home.
Ooh. Hopefully a good start for West Catholic. They can't let things roll for Shawnee quickly. It's a domino effect, and it's hard to stop those dominoes, but Shawnee will continue with the forward momentum. Scorpion, I think, left with an open net with some of those missed opportunities, and West Catholic on the board first.
Overt confidence, both Shock and Bob getting locked in. I think it was a back pass from Cab and everyone looking for answers, but you know, you try a little bit too often and onward, and then you get your same teammate in front of you. So they'll clap hands, say, hey, GG go next into this kickoff, and the first lead will actually be held by West Catholic and these Falcons, who, Chicksa, we could see them get a steal in this series depending on how their defense is able to set up.
I can't remember the last time high school players were better than me. Makes me kind of upset. All right. Anyways, he was, you know, chain dashing on the sidewall there, and I was like, I'm out of my prime. That's all it is nowadays. So really impressed with just the overall decision making as well on the field. I think something as a young player that a lot of players struggle with is maybe being overly possessive with the ball or trying to do too much, but I've seen patience within most of these players, understanding positionally on where to be and taking the challenges, taking it at the start to not allow their opponent much time on the ball. They're doing the fundamentals correctly. It's not just they've practiced in training every flip reset in the book. They're doing everything as a team should do to start off in this one.
Yeah, there's every young player, every new player, they're going to say, all right, how do I hit this ball? And they're like, all right, how do I hit it better? And that comes down to the mechanics. The defender, oh, Scorpion got a single piece of it, but Shock is going to come away with credit. This was Funny Face, who was caught kind of lopsided at the front side of this net, and then Scorpion, who just came howling across his own and ends up being on the ricochet that finally they're able to score. So we're all tied up, bristled up, one apiece.
Much quieter on the score line, though. 1-1 instead of the, I think, 3 or 4 that we had. I mean, make that a third, though. West Catholic, a quick answer, and Scorpion right off the kickoff.
Shock put it in the right place. He just ended up being outside the ball, and every defender caught in the wrong spot. You had someone rotating into post, and the third man was actually thinking that Shock was going to win that 50-50 or at least get a touch to it, and they would be able to play it more from the middle third. So, interesting parameters right now. West Catholic is keeping this squad out of Lima Shawnee chasing, and another big save. Scorpion has been very involved in this game here, Chicksa.
Yeah, huge facilitator to start off in this one. In fact, has over quadruple the points of either of his teammates to start off in this one.
Oh!
And it's been 2 minutes and 13 seconds, and Cab now finds this pass from Shock's initial effort, and then Bob sends it to him. So again, it's the try effort. It's the three members all together working well.
That is chemistry. That's a squad that knows how to play. And of course, they came out of that Esports Ohio Fall Classic as their kind of pseudo qualification coming through. Of course, just a massive talent out of the state of Ohio. And, you know, funny face, there's going to be a lot of time to him, especially as a sophomore on this squad, continue finding even more talent across their Scholastic career. Scorpion turns, gets a big demo onto Bob, the senior. That's a back pass. Keller will be jumping with it, not going to be able to catch up to it. And Shock, they don't have any big boosts. They take this corner and they find a big win. That's actually very dangerous. They can expend everything to put this on target. Oh, just a step away.
I wanted it so badly for him and for us in the booth to see that incredible play. Still, the control of the car throughout the entire effort is something to not go unnoticed. Double tap here into the pass. Cab caught a little bit too far. Keller could have shot that on target. Nobody was there, but instead Shock off the corner. Funny face, the follow-up, and Bob towards the side wall sends it upfield for Cab to pick up. Cab looking to send it center, quickly taken away by Keller, who I feel has been like the defensive mastermind at times for West Catholic. So shout out there. I mean, shout out to all 6 players, honestly. They've shown all of them could be quite good, and Shock's still showing up to his name.
Shock has been an absolute standout for me. Really the top notch of this Lima Shawnee attack. 5 shots, 2 of them going through. There's been 3 kind of just unheralded assists by Bob. 100% participation for the entirety of this offense coming out of the Indians. So they've been looking so good. And one of those few brutal mistakes that just barely gets highlighted, but enough to be punished, is when they just can't keep it more to the corner and find themselves back in the rotation. There's a minute coming up here, Chicksa, and this is do or die or dare to try and get this series back to you, because you would love to have this first round lead.
Yeah, again, it's a round robin with 3 teams in each round, right? Like it's not really much of a round robin other than saying you better win matches 1 and 2, or else you're at the potential of going out. And Shock with the hat trick here gets his third, the 4th for his team, and gives them a buffer with 47 seconds left.
That was a great pass. That one picked up by Cab, recognizing that they and Bob were on that right side, but they baited up the challenge, and now with a 4-2 lead, it's not quite, you know, going for the victory lap just yet, but if they find another one, very well could. Funny Face gets a save. Bob is there to force it. That's going to be bouncing in a precarious place. Funny Face is just hoping they can get a better piece of this ball, but there's more boost in the tanks right now of Lima Shawnee.
27 seconds, not much left on the clock. Another shot, though, instead for the Shawnee squad. Keller for West Catholic looking to get out. Scorpion will still boost, but that means Funny Face is last back, and that's not the touch he needs, but good thing it's slightly off target. Could have been another goal there, but instead, with time running out, I just don't think West Catholic will be able to score 2 in 2 seconds. In fact, Cab will get their 5th for the team, and just like that, they take their series 1 in round 1 of this best of 3 round robin.
Oh man, what an offense that was able to be picked up. They do themselves one better, finding 14 shots. And though they double up their total shooting from the previous game, it was only 4 for West Catholic. So job well done by Lima Shawnee. They will take this first series after West Catholic Falcons was able to just surprise them in that game. It does boil down to a game 3 win. They kind of soft reverse sweep them. I mean, it's just a best of 3, so you get 2 in a row, but it's still a round 1 win, a big one for them.
Yeah, I think they really showed how they're here today. Maybe just waking up, kind of warming up, a little bit cold, maybe a little bit nervous. We mentioned how many possible college recruiters are watching today, and they didn't know how to attack that game number 1. But coming through in game number 2, they showed exactly how they wanted to play today, and they did, again, another great job.
Hey, we're going to be back on the other side of this one as we get to see even more students coming at you. The Winter Invitational will be showing back with round number 2 right after this.